Hello and welcome to the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, fueled by Petron. My name is Aaron Thompson. We're coming to you for the 14th race of the season, but before then, let's have a quick walk down the pit lane and see if we can find anyone to talk to.
Hi all, welcome to Formula 4 Southeast Asia, round 4 at this Buriram International Circuit. This is round 14, race 14 of the championship. Watch this space. We're packed with excitement. Watch this space.
Thank you very much, Peter. Now up to race control to watch the start of the race. Here we go. Everyone's away. Looks like everyone's away well. Coming down into the first corner now. Looks like Alistair Young trying to go to the outside. That's the way you want to be. Coming across now. Great racing from everybody. Everyone is away safe. Looks like that's Luke Allen past what would be Josh Smith. Or perhaps Shihab Al-Habshi as we come into turn 2 now. Orange car at the front of the grid, that must be Muiz Mushafra. Second place we got a pink one, that's got to be Alistair Young. Yasha Aradia seemingly pushing outside Elias Sapana, who must have a fantastic start because he's in 4th already, looking for 3rd. While perhaps Ali Akabi on the right-hand side in the red car beside Elias Sapanin trying to defend his 5th position, as it looks like Alistair Young made a move on the orange car, now on the right-hand side of the track. That's the two Malaysians. In fact, no, that's Yash Aradia that's somehow into 1st position. Beautiful driving from him. He's blocking out Muiz Mushafra as Alistair Young takes the lead of the race at the start of this session as we come into turn 5 now. Oh, there's been contact here, and contact again with the blue car. That's Luke Allen. As Yasha Aradia spins out, unfortunate for him, he was briefly in 1st position, which was great driving, beautiful to see. Must have been a move at turn 3, but then it all went wrong for him at turn 5, as it looks like there's some debris on the track now. We may have to pause the race momentarily to cover that, but hopefully the marshals were able to do so without any action. But it looks like Luke Allen has suffered, maybe off track now. I can see him out the commentator's window. Here's a replay of what happened. Yash spun around and Luca just couldn't avoid the action. I can see Luca out my window. He's not going to be able to get moving again, at least he doesn't seem to at the moment. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin because he's leading the championship at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. So it's important for him to get back on track as Alistair Young comes across the start-finish straight with his comrade Malaysia's Muiz Mushafra just behind him. Young setting the fastest 2nd sector, Muiz setting the fastest 3rd sector. And they're going to be racing until the start-finish straight because Elias Sapanin is just behind him. And Shihab Al-Habshi fighting with Ali Akabi, who's driving fantastically to defend his 5th position, while Josh Smith tries to catch up to Elias Sapanin, the red number 58, just in front of him. Coming down past turn 2 now, we've got the pink and orange cars. Orange, of course, Muiz Mushafra. Alistair Young in the front car, leading the race so far. But Muiz Mushafra is not going to be happy about that. He's not going to give way for his comrade. Of course, he's going to be pushing his absolute hardest to get up onto the top step of the podium where he wants to be. I just saw Yasha Aradia returning to the pit lane, obviously to make sure his car's okay after that collision at turn 5. Luke Allen still beached on the outside of turn 6, so the marshals seem to be getting the car going. I can see everyone seems to be fine. This is having problems as the possession now comes through that corner, that section of the track, I should say. Just for your information, sector 2 is from just before turn 3 until just after turn 6. I can see the incident at turn 6 with Yash now under investigation as we lead ourselves through turn 7 now, turn 8 I should say, with Muiz Mushafra going very wide indeed. Elias Sapanin, Josh Smith and Shihab Al-Habshi all following suit through that corner. As Shihab all over the back of Ali Akabi trying to find way past his Jordanian rival. Coming down the back straight now, is Muiz Mushafra close enough to make a move? He has a look. Maybe decides against it, but he's going to dive up the inside. Yes, he does. He outbrakes Alistair, a little bit more speed, but there's just nowhere for him to go. It's going to set him up nicely if he gets to slipstream into turn 1. We saw that Alistair a little bit faster in sector 2. This time around, Josh Smith setting the fastest 2nd sector of the session and the fastest 3rd sector. So he's lapping in really, really fast, but he's about a 10th down in the 1st sector, so that's why he's still just slightly behind Elias Sapanin. Come down with Alistair and Muiz, 2 Malaysians leading the race at the moment. A Malaysian 1-2 as it stands. Ali Akabi and Shihab Al-Habshi dicing for position just off screen at turn 2. Can we have a look at them? What's going to happen at turn 3? Let's stay on this shot and see if we can see any action between Shihab Al-Habshi and Jordan's Ali Akabi side by side through turn 3. Is that Shihab in front now or Ali Akabi? I can't make out because they're in the same color car. We've got 34 and 64, ladies and gentlemen. If number 34 is at the front of that pack, that means Shihab Al-Habsi has found a way past number 5 driver Ali Akabi, and he has done so. Ali driving very well to defend from the Omani native as we come through turn 5 now, up into turn 6 with the pack being led still by Alistair Young, but Muiz Mushafir around the outside, then closes the door as Elias Sapanen and Josh Smith are rapidly enclosing on the top spots. Alistair now is going to be blocking out Josh and Elias, but there's going to be a fight between Josh and Elias, which may allow the two Malaysians to get a little bit of a gap and focus on their fight for first position. Or maybe not. Maybe Elias will shake off Josh Smith, but Josh again, fastest second sector of the race so far. He's very fast in that second half of the track, sector 2 and sector 3. You can see side by side now into turn 12. Josh going to make a move up the inside. Beautiful clean move there by the Australian driver to take Elias Sapanen's third position, but Elias is not going to be happy at all about that. You can see he's got the slipstream. He's going to try and make a move into turn 1. Let's have a quick look. No, it doesn't look like it. He's a calm, collected driver is Elias. He's going to hold on for exactly the right time, exactly the right possibility to make his move. As we come up into turn 2 now. Muiz Mushafir at the front of the grid in the orange number 13, just ahead of Alistair Young. You can see the effect already of the fight for third position between Elias Sapanen and Josh Smith. Josh leading that fight at the moment, but all the battling between those two drivers is allowing the front two drivers, Malaysia's Muiz Mushafir and Alistair Young, to just create a little bit of a gap, 0.4 of a second, or I should say 1 second before at the start of this race, at the start of this lap. But it looks like Alistair dropping back just a little bit from Muiz, who's setting some blisteringly quick laps. He's doing a 1:46.197 last time around. That was the fastest out of anybody by almost a tenth of a second. Interestingly enough, looks like Tar did the second fastest lap last time around. Tar did the third, sorry. The fastest man on track at the moment, Josh Smith, the only man in the 145s. Following around with Elias Sapanen though now. Elias fantastic racing so far this season. Not so lucky in Buriram yet, but he's going to be working on that for sure. And he's going to be looking for a way to get past Josh Smith, the Australian man, just ahead of him. But Josh at the moment focusing on Alistair Young, who's defending from the Australian driver with everything that he has, but we know Josh likes to overtake at turn 12. He's already side by side. This is the second time we've seen Josh Smith go on the grass to get past Alistair Young, and he does so again at turn 12. In a beautiful exit at turn 11, he gave him a little bit more speed and just snuck past on the right hand side. Up on the ground, got past the Malaysian, came to P2, so now Alistair Young has got to fight for his life with 12 minutes to go. The last minute just behind them. 12 minutes to go. 7 rounds of racing action here at the Durham United International Circuit. Of course, we're back on track in 2 hours' time for the third race of the weekend. Be sure to join us for that as well, because Muiz Mushafir is going to be starting from the back of the pack. It's going to be great to see him trying to fight his way up onto podium position once again. As we come around turn 3, though, Alistair Young still maintaining his third position with Finland's Elias Sapanen, the red number 58 just behind him, and the red number 5 just in front of him is Australia's Josh Smith. This is the straight we were talking about at the beginning of the race, the straight up into turn 4, maybe the most important straight on the entire circuit, because it leads you into the flat out turn 4, where we see a lot of overtaking here in the Buriram United International Circuit. Coming around now though, you can see Australia's Josh Smith fighting hard, trying to catch up to Muiz at the front of the grid. Muiz at the moment, his best lap is a 1:45.353. That's what he did last time around. Josh Smith is a 1:45.168. Is his last lap. His best lap is a 1:44.962. So at the moment, Muiz is about 2/10 behind. So if things keep going, the gap of about 1 second is going to be close to nothing very, very quickly. But Elias Sapanen and Alistair Young may have something to say about that, just behind the two leading drivers. As it looks to me that number 34, Shihab Al-Habsi, is fastly encroaching on the three drivers, fighting for first position. Elias currently doing a 1:44.988. That's his best lap. Everybody breaking into 1:44s now. Muiz Mushafir doing 1:44.9. Josh Smith doing 1:44.7. Elias Sapanen and Alistair Young still 1:45. Shihab Al-Habsi down to 1:44s as well. Interesting to note, or important to note, that Josh Smith still about 2/10 of a second faster than Muiz Mushafir. So as we said, if he keeps going, he's going to close that gap down very soon. 7 tenths to go, 10 minutes to go. That means about 5 laps. So he's doing 2/10 lap, but he's going to get, what's that, so by the end of the race, he's going to be neck and neck. Moise is going to have to defend for his podium position. This will be his first race win of the season if Moise manages to keep it where it is. Hopefully he'll be able to do so, because I'm sure all the Malaysian fans of the championship will be very happy about that. But looks like Elias Panin has found his way past Alistair Young. I shouldn't say that just yet, because Alistair might be able to defend, and he does so beautifully through turn 4. But if Elias manages to maintain this position, he's going to set him up for turn 7. Instead he switches back to the inside line, trying to look at turn 6. Doesn't quite have enough space to make anything happen though, as Alistair Young defends for yet another lap against the Finnish man, who's second or third in the championship at the moment and one of the fastest drivers on the track. Interesting and important to note as well, if things stay as they are, Elias Panin will be the first rookie, Ali Akabi the second, and Tard in third. Let's have a quick look at Tard's times. He's doing 1:45.897. That's 1/10 of the second behind the man in front of Ali Akabi. So great racing from Thailand's native son, and fantastic to see him catching up to everyone here who has, to be fair, quite a significant amount, who has already next weekend in India. He's going to be competing, but Josh Smith has found his way past Moise Mujaffer, and now Moise is down in second position. Terrible news for Malaysia, as Josh now up into first position. So the Australian fans will be very happy about that though. As we come around turn 1 once again now with an Australian leading back, the red number 5 car of Josh Smith, just ahead of the orange number 13 and Moise Mujaffer. Is Moise close enough to make anything happen here? Maybe just a little bit too far back, but it looks like Elias Panin is close enough to make anything happen on Alistair Young, as Shihab Al-Habsi goes around the outside and Elias goes around the inside. I'm going to try and make something happen coming out of this corner. He's close enough to do so. He's going to get a fantastic exit. He's going to have the slipstream, and he's going to go around the outside now at turn 4. Alistair Young is going to have absolutely no space. He's going to be blocked in by the 58 of the red 58 of Elias Panin, and everybody changing positions every which way to try and find an advantage. Now Shihab up the inside of Alistair Young. Oh, and Malaysian has lost 2 positions now coming up into turn 4 as Shihab Al-Habsi and Elias Panin find the way past, but he's still holding on for it. He's going to go all the way around the outside at turn 6. Can he make it happen? No, unfortunately. Number 34 manages to get past the pink number 22 of Alistair Young. Number 34, that's Shihab Al-Habsi now in 5th position, just behind Elias Panin and Moise Mujaffer, of course. So here we go. Into turn 9 now. Can Alistair try and take it back up into turn 10, 11, 12? Final few corners of the circuit. Very hard to overtake at turn 10, 11. We haven't seen it happen yet. Very, very hard to overtake at turn 9. Hasn't happened yet either, but turn 12 is a perfect opportunity. And with a little fantastic ahead of him, Alistair might try now break on the inside, but no, decided to get perhaps wisely. A bit too much of a move there to make, especially considering how aggressive and strong Elias and Shihab are. And they're fighting to get back up into third position, or second position, I should say, with Moise Mujaffer. The gap as they cross the start finish straight is 5 tenths from Josh to Moise. Josh doing a 1:44.727 this time around, and Moise doing a 1:44.859. So the time difference is, we noted before that it's about 2 tenths between the 2 drivers. Now it's down to 1 tenth. Moise is answering him as Shihab Al-Habsi tries to go around the outside at turn 3. He's going to cut back, getting a better exit. Alistair Young may be in the way, but he takes evasive action as Shihab Al-Habsi gets a good line through. He's got the slipstream, but maybe not enough for exit speed to try and make anything happen on Elias Panin up into turn 4. But he's having a look. He's going to go around the outside as the number 9, the purple car of Sharma seems to have spun off, perhaps at turn 1. And what's going to happen here? This is Elias Panin on the right-hand side of your screen. Shihab Al-Habsi is going to go up the inside at turn 5. Come on, let's have a look at turn 5. Let's see what happens as Alistair Young trying to put his nose in there and get back position as well. Fantastic driving from everyone all around to come through this section unharmed. Leading us through now into turn 8 now, it must be. Shihab Al-Habsi just behind Elias Panin. Fantastic racing so far. Exactly what we want to see. And Alistair Young fighting for position as well. Trying to hold on to that... trying to get back into 4th position where Shihab Al-Habsi now sits, but the Malaysian unfortunately not managed to find a way to do so just yet. He has driven fantastically this race, had a good free practice session as well. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen, Moise Mujaffer does seem to be slightly closing the gap to Josh Smith. At least that's what it looks like to me, as Shihab Al-Habsi right up behind Elias Panin. Red cars number 58 and number 34 is across the start. Let's have a look at the gap to 1 and 2. That's Josh Smith and Moise Mujaffer. the same. 1:44.651 for Muiz Mujaffer, 1:44.650 for Josh Smith. Fantastic racing there. 1,000 of a second between the two. Muiz Mujaffer really trying to answer Josh Smith, setting the fastest third sector of the race so far. He's got to do a little bit more though, but he's got 5 minutes. That's about 3 laps to catch. So let's say he manages to find a way to gain 1/10 of a second a lap for the next 3 laps. That puts him in striking distance as Shihab Al-Habsi making a move here at turn 3 on Elias Sapanen. Has he managed to make it stick? Is that Elias on the left-hand side? I believe it is. And on the right-hand side, that's Shihab Al-Habsi. Let's see what happens through turn 4, but that on the right-hand side, that's actually Elias Sapanen, the 58, managing to hold off Shihab just behind him. They're going to come into turn 5 now. Shihab's going to try and cut around, come up the inside into turn 6, but he doesn't get the cornering speed to do so, as Elias secures that position through turn 7 and 8 now. But Shihab Al-Habsi, we've seen, is driving fantastically this weekend. Great battling in the first race with Luke Allen and Elias Sapanen as well. Unfortunately, the Omani made a small mistake which cost him second position, but he's not going to be making that mistake again, I'm sure, because he's fighting now for third with Finland's Elias Sapanen, the red number 58 on the front of your screens there. You can see Josh Smith answering Muiz Mujaffer approaching red car about 2 faster in the second sector. We've seen that Josh is incredibly fast there, but let's see what happens in the third sector. Muiz matches him string for string as Shihab Al-Habsi is now going to come along the outside of Elias Sapanen into turn 1. Can he try and make anything happen? Difficult to do so here because you can't exceed track limits or you will be penalized. But the Omani native decides to tuck in behind, get the slipstream down into turn 3, perhaps try and come out the outside at turn 2. Let's have a quick look now down into that section of the track, while Josh Smith sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:44.451, while car number 17 gets a warning for exceeding track limits. Down into turn 2 now. Let's see what's going to happen here between Tar and Ali Akabi. Not quite close enough to make anything happen, but he could switch back. No, he's going to go the whole way around the outside. That's going to cause him his exit speed there. Let's return to the front of the grid now and see what happens with Josh Smith and Muiz Mujaffer. I'm very interested to see if Muiz can try and find a way back up there. Josh managed to pull out 2/10 last time around. Ali Akabi defending here still though from the blue number 77 of Thailand's Tar. Let's see what happens through turn 5. That's Ali Akabi. Brakes heavily into turn 5, while Tar now up into his position in 6th place as it stands. Too far away to try and challenge Alistair Young. He's got to focus on keeping the red number 64 behind him now. Let's have a look at their lap times. Ali Akabi doing a 1:46.166 and Tar doing a 1:45.416. So Tar really finding time in this second race of the event as everybody there fighting for position. Alistair Young looking for the number 34 car, while number 34 car looks for number 58 car. That's Elias Sapanen, Shihab Al-Habsi and Alistair Young all battling really for third position. Looks to be about 3 to 5 tenths of a second between all 5 cars as they come across the start finish straight. Let's have a look back to the front of the grid. We've got Josh Smith still in first position, setting a 1:44.427, the fastest lap of the race, just in front of Muiz Mujaffer, setting a 1:44.494. That's how close everything is, ladies and gentlemen. Muiz Mujaffer trying to close the gap, but Josh Smith just matching him stride for stride as it stands. Let's have a look at the pack just behind the leaders, though. This is where the action is at the moment. Shihab Al-Habsi on the outside. This is the line he favors through this corner. Going to switch back to the inside now, trying to get the slipstream and come up the outside at turn 4. That's maybe the way to do it. We've seen it done that way. You can see they're already side by side, even on the straight into turn 4 with Alistair Young. He's going to try and get the slipstream and dive up inside of both of them now. A little bit too far back to do so, while Shihab cuts into Elias Sapanen to get the slipstream through turn 4. Now he's taking the outside line. He's going to switch back up to the inside. Still doesn't have the entrance speed to make that move happen. Perhaps best to hold off maybe for turn 12, a hard braking corner, try and make something happen there. Maybe his best opportunity this race, because Elias Sapanen driving fantastically the whole season so far. You can't question his driving talent as he leads us now through turn 8, down into turn 9 with Shihab Al-Habsi just behind him and Alistair Young poking his nose in there every chance he gets, trying to find position, get back up into 4th. and try and catch up to Maurice Machaffer, but with 48 seconds to go on the board, that's not going to go very well for him, as it looks like Maurice Machaffer closing in on the man in front of him. Let's have a look at the sector times. So Maurice a 10th faster in the first sector, same time in the second sector, and a 10th or 2/10 faster in the third sector. So on the last lap of the race, Maurice Machaffer now 4/10 away from Josh Smith, within striking distance, ladies and gentlemen. And if he manages to pull another 10th out in the first sector like he did on the last lap, he's going to be right up behind the Australian in the closing sectors of the lap. As we saw last race, I should say, the battle is not just at the front of the grid, it's for first and second, and also for third, fourth, and fifth. With 3 cars going 3 wide through turn 2, Elias Sapanen coming out on top, but Alistair Young has a fantastic line here through turn 3. He's going to go around the outside of Shihab Al-Habsi, who seems to wiggle just a little bit and lose a little bit of time, perhaps trying to defend from the Malaysian. Everybody seems to maintain their position though, coming up the straight into turn 4. Let's have a look at the lap times. Maurice Machaffer, fastest first sector, gaining 2/10. He's got to be 2/10 away from the man in front of him, Josh Smith, as we speak. He's going to have to make a move. He's going to have to make one move where he's sure he can make it happen. It's going to be turn 12 for sure. That's where he's going to close right in. Looks like Josh Smith going about 300 per second faster in the second sector. So Maurice still about 3/10 away from the man in front of him. He's got to do a fantastic third sector to try and close off. Look, we've got side by side here because there's so much racing action going on. We've got to see the battle between first and second. We've still got to find out what happens between third, fourth, and fifth. I think Elias Sapanen is still in position. In third, that will be a fantastic finish for him because there's strong competition this weekend. The top 5 cars separated by 2 or 3 tenths only, as Maurice Machaffer going to look for a move here on Josh Smith. Decides against it, perhaps deciding it's better to have a second place than a DNF. But as they cross the start-finish line, the gap is 3/10 of a second.
I love racing on these tracks. They're nice and flowing, and they even have a bit of a challenge to them. So yeah, it's a really great series, and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Huge shout out to Shamik Racing and Alan H for their continued support for getting me here, and all the series sponsors as well for making it all happen.
Well, you know, race can happen anytime, anywhere. So can't do anything. So we will see. I just keep pushing. I would like to say thank you to my sponsor, Sokol. Give me opportunity to race. And you know, thank you to my family to support and my fans, you know, school. Thank you.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, really it's the end of the race. So for me, Aaron Thompson, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon.